Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Let's Talk About it Las Vegas. My hair's so funny today. Anyways, my name is Norma Cohn, and I'm your host here in Las Vegas, where we have this podcast to bring awareness to our public, awareness to potential new ideas in new ways to look at life. But mainly, our goal is to inspire you to always rebuild, to reset, to basically get up yourself from the lowest point if you find yourself at the lowest point. So today I have a special guest, Tess. I'm gonna bring her up in a minute, and she is a specialist, and we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. But I want to talk a lot about wholeness and how integration is so important in our lives. So I'm gonna bring her in. Let's see where she comes. Hello, hi Tess.
Hi, how are you
Great.
today?
How are
Thanks for
you?
having me.
Welcome. Absolutely. Welcome, welcome. So basically, you already know a little bit about our show. And so our intention today is to bring awareness into the importance of integration. I know that you love that topic. And so I wanted
Yes.
to bring you for that reason today. So again, our guest is Tess Vergara. And just tell us a little bit about yourself so the people that follow us can see or know a little bit about yourself and where to find you as well.
Wow. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, Norma. My name is Tess Vergara, Soul Powered Executive Coach. And I am committed to freedom, awakening, and enlightenment. I help leaders and change makers reconcile the war between their mind and heart, their soul and ego. And that's the integration part. Because from that integrated mind and heart, body, mind, and spirit, actually, right? From that place of integration, people can really create from a place of freedom and expansion and soul power. So I love guiding executives, leaders, change makers to make that permanent shift from fear power to soul power so you can fulfill your unique mark in the world, what you came here to do.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for that intro. And so tell us a little bit about yourself. How has this past months been in your business, for example? How has everything that's going around the world impacted you or
Well, I'm
benefited you?
actually, yeah, of course. It impacted me to get out of where I came from. I'm from Minneapolis. That's where my residence is
Hmm.
because of the what's going on. And it's not just the lockdown, it's the rise in crime rates. And just so many. And if you look at my DISC profile, DISC. I'm sure you know about that. It's a behavioral assessment. If you look
Hmm.
at my profile, my number one thing is I move away from rules and restrictions. So to have someone impose on me, that's my number one trigger. I move away from that. So I'm all about freedom, like I
Yeah.
said in the beginning. So what I've been doing since all this is going on, we were still dancing and singing and stuff like that, using the what they recommended as safety, recommendations. But then when they totally locked down, I left after the elections and just road tripped with my pets, two dogs and a cat. So I have this lifestyle
Mhm.
of just going from one place to another. Thank goodness for Airbnb who allow pets as
Mhm.
their tenants
That's good. That's
with
wonderful.
me,
So where have
and
you
and
been? Where
yeah,
have
I
you
love it
been?
because I asked them, "Hey, I have three pets with me. Do you take them?" Oh, yeah. What's two more? So it's really great connecting with people who love pets, who love freedom. Who there is really a world out there
Mhm.
that is already living from a place of freedom, and
Yeah.
that was exciting for me to see. And of course, I have a digital lifestyle. I coach like this through Zoom conference,
Mhm.
through telephone. So my presence is global.
Definitely. I noticed that that was one of the things that I love in person visits. I'm a hypnotherapist, so I love in person visits, but definitely the online clientele has increased. So that's actually a good thing for us,
Yeah.
that we work with people in that sense. So tell us where in like what states have you gone through since this road trip?
Oh, I was in a little town in Nebraska.
Uh-huh.
And then right now I am in Savannah, Illinois, in between Iowa and Illinois. So
Ah,
I'm having the best of both worlds right along Mississippi River. So
nice.
it's more about nature, hiking, just enjoying the sunset by the river,
That's
and
beautiful.
just being in that alone solitude, um, inner journey, right? And
Exactly.
being bathing under the sun, and freedom, and not have to, like I said, I don't like the rules and impositions. So not have to walk around in a mask or have to bow to someone else's control and whatnot. So I'm a
Yeah.
little bit of a rebel. So I hope you're
um,
ready for
um,
that.
so hey, my name is Norma.
Oh, what does that
And
mean?
Norma, well, it has to do with the norm and breaking the norm.
Oh, breaking the norm. Yes.
So I'm a rebel in that sense. I love freedom. I love choices. I love the power of choice. I mean, even, I always tell people, even if you make or want to make a what we call the wrong choice, it's still empowering. Because
Right,
you're
right,
choosing, even if like sometimes you want to curse at somebody and like do it, but do it from a place of I want to do it versus I didn't know where that came from. I see they're completely two
right,
different energies. So do it from the empowerment of this is what I choose to do, this is what I want to do, and that empowers me versus I'm a victim of my emotions and I don't know why I reacted that way. I mean, I really love freedom. Freedom
right.
of
Well,
our
here's the
will.
thing: we've been suppressed, repressed to speak our truth, to
Yes.
speak our mind. Right? We've been told no so many times from the time we were born. We
Yes.
were told to do something else when that's not exactly what we wanted to do. So there's a lot of conditioning and programming since we were
Yeah.
born, and then
Hmm.
also past experiences from our ancestors that got passed on to us, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
cultural, societal, religious, political, everything, what have you, pushed down our throat. So, we developed that false sense of self. In other words, we never knew who we really are. We never learned how to function from wholeness. What we've learned is to function from no, from rejection, from hurt, from how do I not get hurt any longer? So it's really important to recognize that we were not born to be told no, or to we were not born to just comply and just obey. We are here. Our spirit is uprising right now so that we can finally know who we really are from a place of wholeness rather than from the
Exactly.
rejected, broken, all those programmings that we received since we were kids.
Exactly. In fact, I was just talking to someone the other day. I was like, what if instead of getting upset, you look at it as in set up, because upset and set up is like this the backwards, the mirror. So
Right? I love it.
it equals set up, and I'm gonna put it on the
Mhm.
crawler. So I mean, like if we
Upset
can
setup.
just set up, it's just the mirror, right? The mirror image of that
Yes.
word. And I was like, what if every time we're getting upset about something, what if we can just flip it around and see that we're setting up for something? And in my
Set
case,
up for your greatness. Set up for what you
exactly for
came
your
here to do.
integration
Right.
to inner healing. I mean, set up to transform, set up to acknowledge, set up to see something that you
Mhm.
haven't seen. I was set up yesterday, big time. Yesterday I
So
was
now every time
set
I'm
up.
upset, I'm set up. I'm set up, right?
I was set
You're
up
set up for
to
freedom.
discover.
That's
And when
all.
I
I
look
love it. I love
into
it.
it, oh my gosh, I was looking at some memories of childhood. I was like, wow, I remember them occasionally, but I never knew there was shame in there, there was guilt in there was a lot of emotions, anger, suppressed anger emotions in there. And I was able to look at them and say, okay, instead of getting upset, I'm getting set up. Let's look and see what is there for me to find out. And that's what it came out to to acknowledge, to see parts of my childhood, with the nose. You know how we were told no? There was a lot of no's in that part of
That's
my
a lot
life.
of no's.
There was a
Yeah.
lot of part of a lot of no's, and consequently, the rebel in me, wanted to always break the rules of the nose.
And that's exactly where the upset is coming from. It's that repressed anger because we are suppressed. It's like
Exactly.
it's a manifestation that there is a war going on between you, but then the one that has been trained to be just obedient, just don't rock the boat, you
Yes.
don't want to be too much or people will chastise you. We push that down, but there's something in us that's just wanting to explode and really express who we really are at our core, at our essence. It's an insult
Absolutely.
to our soul to just do what people tell us to do, because then we are denying ourselves of our true soul expression, who we really are.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, because I mean, especially right now with everything, it's crazy. I try not to watch the news and anything because it's just too much. But I have to be
Mhm.
informed. I gotta be aware of what's going on at the same time, right? But it's
Right.
crazy the stuff that is happening, and I'm like, gosh, which I mean, again, as a society, yes, we're doing that, but at the same time, we could be setting up to wake up, to react, to recognize that we have higher powers, like just the power of choice. And just the
It's the
power
power
of
of
thinking, the
choice.
power of expression, and I mean the power of just being ourselves and truly face ourselves to one point that we have no choice but to
Right.
start literally seeing all that suppression,
Mhm.
seeing all the choice that we have behind that. So, anyways, I
Mhm.
love, I love. Thank you for adjusting that. I wanted my mind
I
is
know.
like adjusted. I just
Sorry, I'm adjusting.
I
I
have to
am
be like,
listening to
okay.
you, but it was bugging me a little bit.
I'm in the back of my mind. I have this perfectionist that I'm always like, oh, it has to look perfect. Like, can you see I'm messing with my hair because this hair didn't get as fluffy as this one? So I'm like, okay, this needs to be equal. It needs to be balanced, and it's not, and it's driving me crazy. So thank you for that. Anyways, so tell us how can someone knows that they need to come to you? What do they need to be experiencing? What do they need to? How do they know they need to contact you to get coaching from you?
Well, coaching with me, well, one, you've done some work, some inner work, right? Usually people don't come to me until they've like, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've listened to this guru, like, like, why am I still doing the same pattern? Why am I still self-sabotaging? I know that I'm supposed to do that. Why am I not in alignment with my desires and
Mm-hmm.
my actions? So where can you come in alignment? And that's usually where people come to me, is they've empowered themselves enough to know the difference. They're aware of their own action. They're not in victim mentality anymore. But why is it that they're still doing victim patterns?
Mm,
So
interesting.
usually it's one, if people want to step up and explore their business, and then they're like, I don't know what to do. I feel like this. I feel like that. There's just that huge resistance. They know, they've intellectualized it. This is what I want. But
Yeah.
when it comes to the emotions, they're so stuck, right?
Yeah.
Or there's just some other issues like the dogma and stuff like that. And, oh, I can't do that because my religion says this. But if I say that, then that means I'm going against my religion. Then am I really serving God? you
Oh
know
yes.
Meditation is the work of evil, blah blah blah, and all that. So where can we reconcile all this varying, different, limitless
Uh-huh.
ideas, and really come to core to who you really are and what is your unique soul expression, what is your soul power, right? Because
Nice.
I'm not you, Norma. I'm a unique individual. And as
Mm-hmm.
long as I'm trying to be you, my business, my relationships, my children, everyone around me is not getting the full benefit of the test that is hidden under all that layers.
Absolutely. I love it. I
Mhm.
love it. I love it. Especially because we literally have the risk of we have, yes, it is a risk of not showing our true talents and our gifts to the world by suppressing them through those type of patterns or beliefs. I know
Mhm.
personally, one of the ones that I struggled for so long was the one with God. It was crazy how much I was like so like constantly afraid of what if this, what if that, having abundance is evil. Of
Right.
being
Or selfish, right?
being rich is evil, or I'm being selfish, because that was I grew up hearing that. Like every time I wanted to go for something, every time I wanted to reach a goal, I was told that I was ambitious and that was evil. And so
Right.
I grew up with that pattern, and it was hard to break. And I still hear people telling me how I am so ambitious for focusing so much in my career, or versus God or
Right.
religion.
But it's all, well, let's talk about that. Can we break that down a little
Sure.
bit?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, how are you glorifying God if you're playing small? Can you tell me?
Exactly. Exactly, right? Exactly.
Mhm.
That's what I
And
said.
you're praying and praying, God, 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 please give me this, give me that. Well, I got bonked in the head so many times because I'm like, okay, God, I've already left everything behind. Like, why are you still punishing me? When I heard that, like, God doesn't punish you.
I
That's
know.
and then the second one is God doesn't want to take over you. God wants you to also co create with Him. It's that oneness in consciousness that
Yes.
I took so long to understand because I was programmed to just, okay, God, I'll do everything for you.
I know.
But that
I
God
know.
doesn't want that because I am playing small. That's not a reflection of the magnificence of God, is it?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the other one that it was also in my mind a lot was the vengeance. Like you get punished by God, you get punished by and so it was part of the programming. Like if I did something, it was I'm gonna get punished, and I was like, what type of God would that be? Like a vengeance God? Like that's not loving. That doesn't sound loving. So, I mean, it took a while, and I still on the journey of that because it's always something coming up. But I love that because we have to be. We do justice to the world by showing our gifts, by producing our talents, by sharing or helping someone else. In this case, as we coach, helping someone else to discover their own talents and to remove their limiting beliefs that
Right,
hold them
right.
back. And many times we don't even know that we have a limiting belief.
Mm. No, because we were trained not to question things, and it's happening right
Oh,
now. Can you see worldwide?
yep,
People are just, okay, I'll do what I'm told,
yep, yeah,
not
without even
questioning.
questioning. Exactly. Oh my gosh, that's you talking that topic. A topic that is like my hot topic.
Talk
Like,
about upset and setup.
right, exactly. That's like the title of our session, set up and upset. Because even with my own kids, they say, Mom, you're a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, no, honey, this is facts. This is science. This is just gotta research and find out. You don't take the answer just because someone who's in authority say so, you know,
Right,
and
right.
and I was like, no, we gotta do our search. We gotta do what is best for us. We gotta get to know us because no one knows us better than ourselves. So
Exactly,
and sometimes
exactly.
we think that we know ourselves, and sometimes we still have to go deeper to even find out where this the programming that I think I know myself, where is that coming from? Because we don't even
Mhm.
question that. Like why? Like I heard a story of this guy who tells the story of a mother baking the lamb in the oven, cutting the front, the end part. And the daughter says, well, mom, why did you cut the end part of the lamb? I don't know. That's how my mom did it. And so
Yes.
they asked mom, why did I do? Oh, well, that's what grandma did it. And when they called grandma and asked grandma, why did you do it? She's like, oh, it's because it didn't fit in my oven. It didn't fit in my oven, so I cut it so it will fit in my oven. And so these three generations have been doing the same thing, cutting the end part of the lamb.
Mhm.
and they had the right oven, the right size, because as time moves, the ovens became bigger, but they keep cutting the end part, and no one ever questioned it for 3 generations. And that's
Right.
usually what happens with us. We don't question, why does my parent taught me to do this? Why do I even, like, for example, why do I even belong to the church that I belong? Like, how do I do? Is that my belief? Is that truly my belief, or is that somebody's belief? And how do I know
Right.
that that's true? I mean, stuff like that. We don't question. We don't question our behavior, and we have to
Yeah,
question.
I went through a dark night of the soul because of that. So I remarried a second time.
Mhm,
And in the back of my mind was that marriage, because one, I did not go for the annulment. Because why would I bastardize my children just to get married a second time?
mhm,
Why would I annul the first marriage? Okay, yeah, I was, I had my limiting beliefs, I had my hidden insecurity, or I had everything that had me say yes to the first marriage. But it didn't mean it was not a factual marriage, right? So I didn't understand why I needed to annul my first marriage so I can marry my second husband,
mhm,
you know, in my church. And the thing that I didn't understand was, well, the effect of it is like making the marriage null and void would bastardize my children. That was my thinking, and
mhm.
everyone who explained to me, oh no, that's not it. That's not very convincing. So it's very hypocritical to me. And that's gonna fly in the face of your audience probably, and mine too, because I've been disowned many times over already, right? So, but
No,
I'm
no,
gonna say it because it's about truth. It's about freedom and fulfillment,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So so when I got married, that guilt of being married outside of the church was too much. I felt I was in hell, and I went to a spiritual director to process through. So
Uh-huh.
he actually appeared in front of me because I was in such pain. All of a sudden, this priest was telling me, hey, befriending me, and that, okay, then you must be a sign from God for me to heal this inner conflict that has me. It was really weighing me down,
Mhm.
and I couldn't be present in my marriage because of it,
Oh
because I
wow.
felt sinful. I
Yeah.
felt that I was breaking. I was not worthy of God, right? So those are things that's in the back of my mind, but consciously I wasn't thinking of it. But that is the inner conflict that I was going
Yes.
through that
Yeah.
had me spin into depression and later dark night of the soul, because
Wow.
I thought I was unfit to be living anymore. What was I? If I was not worthy of God's love, then
Mhm.
why am I here?
Wow.
So
Yes.
I was just taking up space. But anyway, this priest was able to guide me through things. But at the end of the exercise, few months together, working together,
Mhm.
talking, going back to the catechism, going back to the Bible, going back to all that, he refused to give me absolution.
Mm.
And then I was devastated, of course,
Of course.
but of course I know he was just doing his job too,
Yeah. In his beliefs, of course.
in his beliefs, in
Mhm.
the realm of his authority in
Mhm.
the church, that
Yeah.
and then so I knelt in front of the altar and just cried my sinfulness. I
Mhm.
was repentant and all that. And I felt this force behind me, this energy, this just warm feeling. And I started sobbing, sobbing, sobbing. But I felt God embracing me at that moment. And from that moment on, I'm thankful that the priest did not give me absolution, because
Yes.
then I was able to
To
go
experience that.
beyond
Yeah.
religion and really look into universal laws,
Yeah. You were set up.
universal. Mhm.
Yeah.
And so that was an awakening for me. That was freedom for me, and I vowed from that moment on to really help people to reconcile parts of themselves in a way, kind of like a priest. You
Yeah.
telling me what's going on in your life, why are you this, why are you upset, da da da
Yeah.
da da, and then reconciling and returning you back to your wholeness, back to God, really.
Yeah.
And then I have a relative who actually said to me, Tess, I said, when can I speak in front of your people? You know, I want to speak. I want to share this work
Mhm.
to as much people as I can. And then he said, your work is not Christ centered. I'm
What?
like, what? So
If
these
they only
are
knew.
the projections,
Yeah.
the lies, the distortions that we hear that
Yeah.
have us, oh my God, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a patterning, it's a programming, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you have to be able to reprogram yourself and
Yeah.
say, I am enough.
Yeah.
I am.
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
the daughter, son of God.
I get countless and countless of comments sometimes of thinking that because I do hypnotherapy, so sometimes I use hypnosis, sometimes I use other modalities to go in and work and find. I do self regression. I mean, a lot of stuff. But anyways, some people will say that it's evil. I'm like, no, it's the other way around. It's so spiritual. If you only knew how wonderful this work is, you actually connect more. I had that experience, the feeling the love around. I remember
Yeah.
at a time I was feeling so lonely, and I was like, I'm just gonna be present with myself. And so I decided to go in the closet where I was quiet, and I just went into the closet and I sit with myself and I sit with myself. And oh my God, did I ever feel that for the first time? I experienced to feel that love, and it just felt like a nice
Right.
warm blanket. And you
Yeah.
know that it was just the purest, cleanest ever feeling that I ever felt, and it was just so amazing. And after that, I remember I recorded a meditation guiding the same process, and in Spanish I did it because I speak Spanish as well. So I recorded that meditation, and every time I see someone that says, "Oh, I feel so lonely," I'll just text them, "Do you want a meditation for that?" Because here's the link if you want to. Because I just want to share that experience because for me it was so intense, it was so beautiful that I just want people to feel what I felt, and to do it on their own, to go through their own
Right.
process, and to just be with yourself. That perspective changed my whole life for me as well. I went through a lot of stuff. I was set up
Oh,
to become who I am. And
yeah.
I'm still becoming. But yes, we had to go through those dark nights. It all sounds like your story. It was like when you were saying that, I was like, wow, that sounds very familiar. Because
Yeah, and there were many more of that where
yeah,
I'm just on my knees surrendering, you
yes,
know,
yeah,
like I surrender all this hardship, all these challenges to you. I don't know what it is that I'm doing.
yeah,
I don't know anything without you, kind of thing. And
yeah,
then your inner spirit comes in and say, this is what we're going to do.
exactly. And it's
It's
just
that
so
merge in
beautiful.
consciousness, God and human, really.
Yeah.
And I believe that all religion are meant to do that, except human interpretation gets in the way.
In the way, exactly. As I was thinking, I was like, it's the man's mind interpretation. Even ourselves, sometimes I notice that when we surrender, is giving up those ideas that we have in our mind of how it should be, right? And
Mhm,
because
mhm.
we're giving up that, and we're saying, okay, here I surrender, then I'm opening myself, allowing myself to have new insights. Because if I want to
Correct.
control, I usually in the past I was called a lot. I was told a lot that I like to play God. I was like, yeah,
Ah,
heck yeah. But I didn't realize what I was doing. I wanted to control the outcome of things, and that was giving me hard time. Right? It was hard because I was frustrated. I was bitter most of the time because I wanted to move the pieces the way I wanted to. If they didn't give me the results that I wanted to, I used to get angry. And now it's like, no, Norma. Now I catch myself doing that. And I'm like, okay, hold on. This is getting out of control. You're playing God again. You need to let, that
let
inner wisdom guide you.
yeah, let go, let God. Yeah,
Yes, and they let inner wisdom guide you to lead the path. Somebody told me a while back, he said, "Just let it happen. You're gonna like it. Just let it happen, right?" And I'm like, every day,
mhm,
I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wake up and I'm gonna let this inner wisdom guide me to make the
yes.
best choice of the day. So let me ask you, What was your lowest point in life?
The what now?
Lowest point. Where was your bottom before you decided to transform your life?
That was my lowest bottom,
That was
was
your lowest bottom.
the Dark Night of the Soul. It's that's the lowest bottom. But when I first realized was that I was giving away myself,
Mhm,
people pleasing a lot. I didn't resonate with the people pleaser identity. If you told me in back in 2000 or 2008, before my awakening, I would not have told you that I'm a people pleaser, because I thought I was strong. I thought I was independent. But then in 2009, things started happening. I lost a house to a fire. Get this, on Easter Sunday of
oh
2009. The
wow,
relevance of the date.
symbolic, symbolic.
On In the mid-year, uh, I lost my boss. My boss was also my best friend and confidant, to cancer, June
Wow.
30th. So mid-year. And so instead of grieving, I took on more responsibilities on his behalf, and then doing my own responsibilities. So much that I didn't see my children for a few days or a few weeks. They would already be asleep when I get home at 11 at night.
Mhm,
And then something happened. So he died in June. We finally found an executive director. I was a financial director at that time. We finally found a new executive director who had the audacity to uh, invite the auditor
mhm,
in the company.
mhm.
And I saw the auditor in the hallway. I'm like, what are you doing here? And oh, I'm in a meeting. How come I'm not invited? I'm the financial director.
Mhm.
Why was it that I didn't invite him to the meeting? So I
Mhm.
felt that big stab in the back. Here I am, killing myself, not going home until 11 o'clock. And
Wow.
this is what they're doing to me. So I talk about upset. I was beyond upset,
I bet.
beyond upset. I was outraged. And from then on, I'm like, screw you all. I'm going to love myself. That's when I started thinking that I was not loving myself, that I was giving away everything to my work, to my children, and not enough, not
Yeah.
anything for me.
Yeah.
And then on Christmas Eve, I broke my knee
Oh.
skiing. Because here I am, like, okay, screw you all, forget you. I'm gonna have a vacation with my family, right? And then I was skiing downhill, and boom, my ACL tore. So I had
Wow.
to go through rehab and such. So that was not my lowest point, but that was a point of awakening,
Yeah.
that I was not living my own life. I was living someone else's agenda, and I was just a puppet to them.
Exactly. Yeah. It have
And then,
symbolic the parts of
yeah,
the body.
and then I said, okay, fine. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to follow my heart. I remarried. And that marriage was like poking all the hidden triggers in my body that I didn't know I had. It was like poking, poking, poking. Oh my
Oh my
God.
God. Have I gone through that?
I never knew how insecure I was. I never knew how jealous I was.
Oh
Everything, all
yes.
those dark emotions that I kept. No, that's not
Yeah.
me. No, no.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
am I am strong and powerful and independent. I cannot be needy. That's not
Yeah.
who I am. Oh my God.
Yes.
So I call him my soulmate, because he revealed
Exactly.
pieces of me that needed that integration and
Yeah.
healing. That was my dark night of the soul.
Yes.
It's that, the death of the ego, the return to wholeness. it,
Yes.
it
Oh.
was the lowest and highest, but it was a very low uh surrender first.
Yeah, it was
You
beautiful.
surrender your darkness so you can surrender to your light.
That is so beautiful. I mean, there's so much in that story. And by the way, I it's like you're my
And
mirror.
that's not the story we were going to talk about, right?
That is my mirror because that's exactly how I went. Here I was known to the world with this very strong, independent woman. And all of a sudden, I find myself in this relationship where I became so insecure. I lost myself, my self esteem, I mean, my self worth. I was jealous. I didn't even know that I had jealousy within me. And oh my gosh, it sounds like you're telling my story. I'm still rebuilding from that, by the way. But yes, that sounds like, and but we have to go through that because
Hmm.
we had to. I mean, we literally set up, we set up these things to match and to face them eventually, so we can have this awakening, so we can see the part of us that is in the shadow, so we can start integrating it. And it is, I bet it's worth it now that you're going through
It
it,
is worth it. It
right?
is worth it. Hmm.
Yes. So what,
Um,
if let's say somebody is going through that right now, what would be the first thing that you would recommend them to do?
well, it's not recommend. It's really kind of like you. You do hypnosis. I lead my clients to a process where they can actually feel God in them, right? Because they've
Hmm.
forgotten.
Yeah,
The this and this sometimes disconnected. A lot of
absolutely.
people are walking around as if their body is a car that they just turn on, go, oh, you
Yeah.
need gas, boom. But it's interconnected. And the third part to that is bringing our soul in, right? So body,
Yeah,
mind, and spirit. So call it soul, call
exactly.
it spirit. I believe the soul is the whole of it.
Yeah.
Our physical, our emotional, our mental, and spiritual. And the soul can really physicalize in the body as the
Yes.
light of God in the body when our body, mind, and spirit is aligned.
Where is
And
alignment? I
so,
always
what
talk
is the
about
first
that.
thing that I'm going to ask you to do is ask you a lot of questions, ask you, mirror to you some questions so that you can have an aha moment where did that belief come from? Where did that voice in your head come from? Is it really your voice or someone else's voice? What are the
Exactly.
key decisions in your life that you've decided that defined who you are? Is that really who you are? When we, for me, I'll give you an example. When my brother was born when I was 5,
Hmm.
I made a key decision that I was a nuisance. I was an excess because all the attention went to him. I was no
Hmm.
longer the princess. So I felt
Exactly.
that whole abandonment, whole rejection,
Hmm.
that I was carrying through, that deep insecurity, which also led me to the independent, strong, and self-made woman that I was, is
Yeah.
because I made a decision that nobody cared, that I
Hmm.
have to fend for myself because
Yeah.
everyone's attention was on him. And this is no fault of my brother. This was my own deliberation. This was
Choice.
my
Yeah.
own decision at the age of 5 from a naive mindset.
Hmm.
But that
Absolutely.
shadow followed me through life. And then I
Yes.
started collecting evidences that I am alone, that I'm
Hmm.
not loved, I'm not cared for. And when I was going through this introspection, this awareness, like,
Hmm.
why is it that I know I am loved by my family, and yet there's a feeling inside of me that did not feel
Doesn't feel
loved?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And so those are the things that we are going to break down, break apart,
Hmm.
and really look from different perspectives. And of course, it's responding from what you're feeding me.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to give you, here, let's do inner child healing today and then we'll do hypnosis. No, it's whatever
Mhm.
you're feeding me, because
Yeah.
that means it's what you're ready to let go and
Exactly.
surrender,
Yeah. Yeah. I
right?
always say
So
that
it's not a one, two,
expectation.
three, four, 5 steps.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
dynamic.
Yeah, and I think it's critical for people to understand that if we come to the session with that, for example, with an attitude of "I gotta get fixed," we already starting in the wrong place, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
We gotta come with like, let me get to know myself. Let me see what I'm ready to see, what I'm getting set up for to see, to whatever comes is what is meant to come. And it's
Right.
not like, here, I gotta fix this. No, it doesn't work like that. It
Well,
really works with,
I gotta fix this is from a perspective that you're broken.
and from the
And so,
ego,
what are
right?
you going to create in your
Yeah,
reality? It's more opportunities to actually experience yourself as broken.
yeah,
But what if you can just choose to be whole right now? I am whole. And I
mhm.
promise you, everything that is out of alignment from that wholeness is going to come up. Now, when they come up, please don't grab them and oh no, don't be in shame and put it back in the bag. All
Oh,
you
I
have to do
know. We
is
do that, right?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
Yes.
that's exactly what happened to me. Who is this needy person? Oh no, I don't
Yeah.
want you. You know,
Especially because especially thinking with the mentality of being independent and being able to do everything. It's like, why would I want to even go to that area? Like, why? But sadly, that's the shadow of every independent person. They had to become independent because at one point of their life, they had to, like, literally, they felt powerless. And so they had to create this other personality because of that. Like you say, when you were 5 years old, that of, I'm in excess, I'm no longer needed, so I had to become strong for myself. I had to become independent. I had to provide for myself because all the attention was going to your sibling. So it
mhm,
makes perfect sense. We create that shadow, that personality, and we suppress the needy part of us. We suppress the part of us that wants attention. That's exactly
right,
what happened to me, and it
right.
took a
Yeah,
while to accept that that's the truth of me.
yeah, it was very embarrassing, humiliating to
Yeah,
have to accept, oh my God,
yeah,
who is this person that is pretending to be strong
yeah,
and independent when I'm really needy?
yeah,
And, but actually, they're both you, and the needy actually will evolve
yeah.
into asking for what it needs,
Oh, I
to be
love
the
that
one,
part.
right?
Yes, because
So don't push
another
that
part of
away.
us, another thing or result of us being so independent is that because we think we can do everything for ourselves, we don't ask for help. We don't ask
Mhm.
for our needs, right? And
Yeah,
by recognizing that shadow part, by seeing that inner child, we can actually start saying, hey, can you help me with this? Or would you do this for me? Or even
yeah,
just ourselves saying, you know what? I need to rest and it is okay. I need to take some time off and I just need to go and take care of myself. That is more loving than keep telling ourselves, I got this, I got this, I gotta keep strong, I gotta keep going, right? Or even I
right.
gotta fix myself. That is very self-abusive.
It's a formula for breaking. Well, I had a
Exactly.
meltdown, right? So I broke apart. And oh my God, what was that ever humiliating too? But
Yeah,
it's like you said, it's a setup so that I can now guide people to bring all those broken pieces back together
yeah,
and not come from the energy of I gotta show up here appearing put together. That is a different
yeah,
energy than I am whole, I am
exactly.
one with God. God and I have a different, special relationship than maybe you and your God have, it's
Absolutely.
not something. Oh, I really don't like it when people impose upon to us what we're supposed to believe. I really
Yeah,
believe that you and I and we are meant to find our truth from the level of soul, not from the level of programming, not from the level of fear.
yeah.
So that would be my challenge for your listeners.
Absolutely. I think it's beautiful because we do. We had to. And then the other thing we had to also be aware of is that there's so many levels of consciousness that maybe, maybe the person that I'm speaking is at a beginning level of consciousness, and that is totally okay. It doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it that it's just going up the ladder, right? It's just going up the ladder to,
Exactly,
and we
exactly.
gotta respect that. We gotta respect that. But here's the thing that I found is the one of the things I constantly tell people is, or I share with people, is that what we do as we provide this service is that we provide a safe container for them to discover those parts within them. So they don't have to do it alone. right?
Well, yeah, yeah, and safety is the number one need, right? It's our primal need.
Exactly.
If we don't feel safe, we will not blossom,
Exactly.
right? So people like us are really needed to have that safe container, safe space, sacred space. Because when you, without that priest, let me go back to the priest. He did provide a safe container for
Yes.
me to gather up pieces of me that I'd forgotten, that
Hmm.
was dormant, or I never knew about me, right? And so, because of that, even though in the end he didn't give me absolution, which was still a blessing, it was a safe container for me to, okay, I accept myself. I am worthy. And to come to that conclusion, even though he didn't give me the absolution, I was like, I'm okay. I'm okay. The church can excommunicate me. The church can say no because I didn't remarry inside of the church. But that does not diminish who I really am.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, because at the end it sounds like
That's
you gave yourself, you gave
Mhm.
yourself absolution.
Yes, of course. No one else will. You
Exactly, and
know,
no one else
if
will
you
because
listen to the external world, they will continue to just take from you.
exactly,
Um,
exactly.
if
We
you
have
keep
to be
giving.
the ones giving us permission. We had to be the one giving the absolution, the forgiveness, the whatever it is that we had to go through it, right? We are. That's what the word say. I am the way. I am. I am the way. No one else
Yes.
can do it for me.
And
Even
isn't it beautiful to find people like this talking like this in such an open and loving and aligned way? And if you guys are afraid that stepping into your soul is going to upset people, well, guess what?
they're getting set up.
It doesn't matter.
I always
Only
tell
you
people,
matter.
you know what? It's a mirror. Find it within you. Find it whatever is in front of you within you. If it's upsetting you, if it's upsetting them, then they need to find you in them because that's
Right.
the reason we're a mirror. We have to face it. We have to. We just gotta see things from a higher perspective. From
Yeah.
a higher perspective is all part of a plan for you to integrate from a higher
Exactly.
perspective. So constantly go
And then
back
when they
to
see you happy and oh my god, she's not at all affected by the lockdown, the this and that. What are you doing? Can you
yes,
help me? Because
yes.
I'm going crazy here, da 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 da.
You know,
Well, yeah, I
to
can
me,
help you.
that 2020 was like, I felt like it was a great year for those that really wanted to go inside. You have everything, like you were forced, you had no choice but to stop from that craziness of the day, every day, and you had the chance to literally stop and sit with yourself. Many
Yes.
people did that. For me, it was a year of like literally defining which corner you're in. Are
Hmm.
you in with yourself or are you completely separated from yourself?
Hmm.
That's how I see things on 2020 for a lot of people. It was like some of us, it was like a magnifier of either you're moving in the direction of integration or you're moving in on the direction of separation. That's what
Wow,
it
I
was
love
for
that.
me. It
I
was
love that.
it was a defining year, and it's funny that it was 2020, like the vision to see clear things, right?
Exactly right.
2020. So it was an interesting year in that sense. I noticed with a lot of people that I interact that for some of them they completely became more spiritual, more connected, more integrated, and some of them completely disconnected even more. It
Yeah.
was it was defining a defining moment, a period in time, I guess, in the whole. I guess we gotta go back and see things from a higher perspective. So from a higher perspective,
Exactly.
we were setting up for something big, and some of us do and it still work because it never ends. It never ends the work. It never
Right. And
ends.
and I saw a post today. It was She was upset and expressing her frustration. Like she asked, what is the point of being here? What is the point of being awake if all I see in the world is suffering?
I know.
And I had to remind her, if you're awake, that means you're here to shine your light, to be
Exactly.
the beacon of light. So don't despair. Um, if you are resonating with this conversation between me and Norma, that means you have a role here in the world, and that role is simply to shine your light.
Shine your light. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, because we are so connected, and even though we think that by my choices, my actions, my behavior, my belief, my thoughts are not having an impact, they do because they resonate. I mean, if people can see the invisible, the auras, the frequency that we emanate, if they can see we can connect, my energy
Yes,
connects with the other person energies, and they may not think that my life is doing something. It is, your life is doing something. It's connecting the energy with the other person, even if it's barely touching it with the 6 feet apart. make it
exactly right.
make it 5.5, 5.9. Get just enough to touch, you will have a difference, I promise you, because there is a reason behind the 6 feet apart too. Is this disconnecting us energetically speaking. So if we can
Yeah,
get a 5.9, we connect again. So our light does has an impact. Our light
right.
is, I tell people, just if you can only see, like right now you had this wonderful glow on your, so
Thank you.
if we can see that, if everybody has, and we all have the opportunity to do that, to see it. So if you could only see that, or even believe that there is so much more that you don't see, that we're more than just this body, your
Hmm.
life, your light definitely impacts and touches the lives of others. That's how we
Right,
become a society who we come, because our thoughts, that's why there's so much manipulation toward changing our mind, changing the things internally, so much programmation to shift us away from connecting each other,
right. Oh my
right?
God. I
Yeah,
love this conversation.
I love it too. Thank you. Yeah, so shine, shine, shine. Let's put it that way. Shine, shine, shine.
Yeah, shine, shine, shine. And you can imagine your heart, right? Like a rose,
Uh-huh. Oh yes.
and feel it blossoming up.
Hmm.
And just do that exercise, and then feel it getting stronger and stronger,
Yeah.
and then always come from that place of blossoming rather than shutting down, tightening up.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
always expand, 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 blossom, blossom, blossom. No matter what the adversity, no matter what the external world is um showing you what is going on there, that's illusion.
Yeah.
This right here is the truth. Your blossoming, your soul blossoming is the truth. So when you practice coming from that space of blossoming, you'll know your truth.
Mhm. Exactly. And the other thing I like to think is that we knew we were coming in these times for this reason. And if we are part of the ones that shine light, we knew already that it was going to be dark. And I always like to make this sample of, when you turn off the light, what happens to the room? It's dark, right? But there
Yeah,
was not a switch for you to turn on the darkness. Darkness was always there. So
yeah.
you turn on the light. So turn on your light, because darkness is always there. So turn on your light. And as soon as you turn on the light, there is no room for darkness. So
Oh,
turn on your light and shine, because eventually, as we all turn lights, a lot of us start turning light. We're all going to make the brightest
right.
light shine in
Ah,
the room. So definitely do that. And another thing is that even just centering ourselves, just breathing makes a huge difference in the world, because we
mhm,
become centered, we become aware, because we take everything for granted. We just let our body do everything automatically, that even our breathing, like just so simple as that, like consciously breathe, notice you breathing, notice in and out, in and out, and just notice, and that is going to start the path of coming to that alignment, to that, to where
mhm.
we get to shine our light. So we have 5 minutes. I want to give it to you. Share what you have to share to the world, so they can, and then also you're welcome to share that with your audience, with your friends, whatever. And so just, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be remembered for in the world?
Well, soul power. That is my gift to the world. Is really aligning, right? your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, so that you're one pillar of light, right?
Mhm.
So from that place of alignment, then you can integrate into the wholeness of your entire beingness. And from that wholeness, then you bring in your soul. I mean, we are not ever disconnected from our soul, but when from that place of wholeness, your soul actually can fully reside in the body and no longer just out there. It's like, oh, that's a soul sucking job, and then you go back to being
Yes.
asleep and just being a puppet to society, right?
Yeah.
And but when you come and really invite your soul in and stand from the place of, where is it, soul power, it's your sovereignty.
Exactly.
It's your sovereignty. And that is my gift to the world, is to, we can create heaven on earth right here, right now, when you step into that soul power and soul powered leadership. And why is it leadership? It's because it's a pain in the behind to go through what we were talking about. Challenge your limiting beliefs,
Yeah.
right? Transcend the ego. Those are really, really, really hard thing to do. But
Yeah.
from a soul powered leadership, right? You are taking control of your life. You are taking back your mind, taking back your voice, taking back your soul, taking back your power. Not power over, not powered by fear, but soul power, where you are uniquely you, your unique essence, your unique expression of your soul. When you're in that place, nothing can go wrong. You are just love in flesh. And that's my
Absolutely.
gift to the world. And you
Thank
can
you.
visit me at tessvergara.com or soulpoweredleaders.com and
Oh,
follow me on
wonderful.
Facebook too. Thank you so much,
We'll put it on
Norma.
the notes as well in the comments so people can
Yes.
follow you there. I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing. Definitely, I love that you're working with executives, you're working with leaders because those are the ones that will influence a lot of people. So that's wonderful. And I love the work that you do. I really I'm all about integrating all. I tell people we have so many levels of us. We're more than a physical body. We're spiritual, mental, emotional. We have so many levels that if we can align them, we can do amazing stuff. I mean, as it is, even though when we're misaligned, we still do amazing things. Imagine what we can do if we are aligned and just do so much more. So thank you so much, Tess, for
Thank you so
coming
much.
over to the show. I love your process. I love what you think about it. So well, hopefully our viewers, whoever wants to get in touch with you, they'll go and visit you to your website, tessvergara.com, and we'll put it on the comments. But yeah, so thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Alrighty. Well, there it goes. There you guys have it. One more show, one more episode of our podcast. Let's talk about it, Las Vegas. I really hope that this episode inspire you, inspire to whether question your beliefs, inspires to either take a different action, question your behaviors, your thoughts, your routines, because everything that we do has been or is the result of a programming that we had acquired since our childhood. So my intention always is bringing you people that can inspire you, light up in you, questioning you, something that spark so you can start a new path, a new life. And I know it's not easy because you do have to change behaviors, you had to question beliefs, you had to question a lot of stuff that you have in your programming. However, the rewards are amazing. Once you start living from your true essence, once you start living from feeling or being guided by your inner wisdom, everything is so much better because then you're no longer a victim of the circumstances, of the experience, or the people, or the times. You're no longer a victim. You empower yourself to make choices for yourself, to literally shine your light, to basically just be you, what you came to the world. And you've forgotten that because again, as parents, and I know I made that mistake, as parents, we think we know what is best for our kids and we help them, we teach them to turn off the lights. And you are on time to still wake up and turn on your own light again, to your own light, and just start blooming. And just like the lotus flowers that grows in the mud, I'm sure if I was the lotus flowers, I wouldn't know why I'm in the mud, why I'm in the disgusting environment. But eventually, when the lotus flowers open up and it's just this gorgeous, beautiful flower, it understands the purpose of the mud. So one day you'll get to that experience. So until next time, my name is Norma Cohn, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.